I've been afraid to tell people what I do. I was a civilian with the Air Force. How do I put this? Everyone assumes that I've left working with the Air Force. I must be angry at the government, or I must be angry at the Air Force. And that's not necessarily true. In addressing some of my fears, what I realized is I am afraid of being discriminated against. I'm afraid of being named a Christian and having it assumed. I'm also afraid of being named a heathen. I am afraid of being named American in a negative way. I'm also afraid of being named un-American. And I want to love everyone. I look forward to your comments of whatever vein. It has been brought to my attention that you all have no idea what I do. And you're not wrong, and I'll tell you why. I have been afraid. I've been afraid to tell people what I do. So I would consider myself a light worker. I would say that I do energy work. I also do things that have nothing to do with energy work, like teaching, coaching, consulting. So I just finished a long-term job with the Air Force. I was a civilian with the Air Force. I was very pleased with the contribution that I had made, but how do I put this? Everyone assumes that I've left working with the Air Force. I must be angry at the government, or I must be angry at the Air Force, or I must have felt put out in some way. And that's not necessarily true. Things don't have to be going wrong for people to want to leave. I personally wanted to serve my heart, and this is what I call being a light worker, is expressing love to people in multiple ways. My intent is to work with people who have left communities of some sort, and I'm starting to see that leaving a long-term job is a community, because I miss my team, I miss the environment, and I miss the difficulty. I mean, it was so hard, but yeah, the outcomes were worthwhile. So I miss all of that, because now it's all on me, and I'm finding now I'm not really explaining what I do, but now I'm finding that I was not as big of a priority than my former customer base, if I could say it that way. They mattered more to me than I mean to me. I have goals, things that I want to achieve, but I care about them less than I cared about those other people. So I'm working on that. And when I say I'm afraid to tell you what I do, it's because in addressing some of my fears, what I realized is I am afraid of being discriminated against. I'm afraid of being named a Christian and having it assumed that I want to change who people are. I'm also afraid of being named a heathen and people assuming that I want to change them. I am afraid of being named American in a negative way. I'm also afraid of being named un-American. I mean, these are the exact opposites of each other, but the reason I'm afraid of both is I just love people. And it is confusing to me. It's a little bit confusing because I identify with autism. So I need to understand the variables that make a certain thing true. And I want to love everyone. I want to love people who are not like me. I want to love people who do not think like me. I want to love people that think like me too. I want to have love for people that may hurt me or have hurt me. I want to have love for people that have like a past or a history, or people who I really respect and then find out later that they have a history. I want to love them too. I there should be no good reason to say I should not show love to someone. And the world is so big. But yeah, it's all about love. I want to love people, and my fears have kept me from doing things at a pace or as openly as I would like to. Yeah, I love you. I don't know you, and I love you. I love you. And I know there are groups that do that. They do the I love you thing, but I really do love you. So what do? I have a history. I used to identify as a Christian, and I did a lot of teaching and counseling and mentoring in those years. And so with 20 years of people care under my belt, I use that in a coaching perspective. I am also an energy worker. I do Seraphim Blueprint energy work and Reiki. Reiki is the more familiar modality. So you're getting into that witchcraft stuff. I don't know yet. I haven't been able to find a coven, but I would love to learn what it is they do, what they're about. I've developed a tool to help people regain or retain their focus. You could also call this working with stuck energy. You could also call this right brain communication. But at any rate, it's an opportunity to see what is stuck for you. So say you're trying to focus and something keeps getting pulled away, and it takes you 2 or 3 times longer to get spinning at the same rate of speed that your brain was paying attention at. So it is an opportunity to address whatever is taking your attention away so that you can keep your focus. And it is remarkably simple to do. I'm finding that a lot of the work that you do in being a light worker is inward. So if that helps at all, I just want to love. And now that I have admitted what my fears are, I look forward to your comments of whatever vein, because I want to retain these relationships, and I am not trying to force anyone in one way or another. I still have a very fine relationship with God. It doesn't make me uncomfortable at all. It makes it really difficult to communicate with some people, but I also do not identify as a Christian. And those reasons are all my own, and I'm not trying to, convince anyone to be living the way that I live. Also, believe that a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. And there are qualities, names of God, descriptions of God that I grew up knowing that are present in other cultures. And because we have chosen to either transliterate the names of God or translate them, when we hear them in other languages, we start to say that's not God. I'm starting to question whether transliteration or translation helps to separate us when there is a commonality. And there are going to be some very stark comments about that. I'm okay with it. I don't know everything. I spent more than 20 years as a Christian studying that. I will need to spend maybe as much of that in equal time studying other things to be as proficient as I was there. But I can tell you this, I have not needed to stop loving. And love is truly universal. It would be strange for me, I'll look for it, but it would be strange for me to find a culture that did not have a respect for love or a capability of love. So look for that. So what was my point? My point was that I am terrified to tell you all of those things, and I've just done it. That's my point. So have at it. See ya.